it's supposed to feel.
What is going on? Welcome to North Shore 9. We're going to talk about the Pirates' recent victory over the Cardinals 2-1. And we complete the series sweep of the Cardinals. And what are your first impressions, Doug?
Well, a sweep of the Cardinals is always great. I've been watching the Pirates for a long time. And I watched the Pirates in the glory days, and we were happy. You know, when Willie Stargell and Dave Parker at the time were on the team, I was thrilled with a Cardinal sweep. So to get it here, coming off a really, really rough month, we're now on a 5-game win streak. We're 31-27. We've got the Oakland A's, and as Pirate fans, we tend to do this a lot. I remember last year Cincinnati was 2-22, and we're like, oh, we're going to go play Cincinnati, and they took the series. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but yeah, I like where we are right now. I like the way we played. Great. I mean, we really needed a good outing from Rich Hill, and we got one. And the bullpen continues. I mean, it's really impressive.
Yeah, I think the last time I was on, it was Sunday, and it was like series conclusion against the Giants where we won. And I said, well, all right, we took 2 of 3. We have to go into this Cardinals series and win some games if we're serious. Like, we have to start clipping wins together, especially since we have the A's afterward. And, you also have to go take 2 or 3 from the A's at a bare minimum. But they did exactly what they needed to do this series. They came in, they took care of business. The pitching was great. The offense was clutch. They did just enough to win. And it was really, really nice to watch. And today was pretty relaxing, Get your breakfast, you sit down and watch Rich Hill pitch 6 2/3 of crucial baseball.
Yeah, exactly. The kind of moments you sign him for, what you're hoping for. Again, you're not expecting Rich Hill to compete for the Cy Young. But in moments like this, when you need that veteran, that gritty performance, it's like, all right, man, we burned the whole bullpen yesterday. So go out and get us some innings. And that's exactly what he does. And, he gives up 1 run. The Cardinals they're a good team. Their record doesn't necessarily reflect it. But, that's Arenado and Goldschmidt alone.
Yeah.
Are enough to scare, any pitching staff. So,
yeah. And Hill is one of those people where it's like you know kind of what you're going to expect. It's always going to be something where like he's going to go 6 or so innings, probably give up 3 to 4 runs. And even if he went out and did that today, he would have done his job because the bullpen was just completely trashed from yesterday. Having to abandon Ortiz in the 3rd inning, have a bullpen day. And so for him to come out and give you 6 2/3 of one-run baseball, especially when the offense wasn't great today.
Right.
Like the offense got some hits, but like they really struggled to drive in runs. Hill was probably my player of the game just because of how important it was to get the bullpen some rest.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. And it's like you said, even had he given up 3 runs or 4 runs, the fact that he went 6 2/3 innings and gave a good part of the bullpen a rest. We still had to go to Dauri Moreta, which seems fine. Like
I think he only faced like 1 or 2 batters yesterday too, so he's still. I was not worried about that.
Right? Yeah, it's just and then Yohan Ramirez comes in, and he's obviously pitching his way into high leverage situations.
100%.
Right, and it's really remarkable because we weren't too sure about this bullpen at the start of the season, and suddenly we've got guys like Moreta, Hernandez, and Yohan Ramirez sort of showing time and time again that they can handle a little more, tougher situations, and that, maybe we won't always have to run Holderman out there in the 8th and Bednar in the 9th. If again, we hadn't used the whole bullpen. It's like, I was wondering the whole game. I was thinking, what's going to happen if this is 2-0 in the 9th? What are we going to do? So
yeah, like you could kind of tell like the vibes around this game is like, we took 2 of 3. We're probably going to lose this game, but that's okay.
Right.
And so for them to really buckle down and like they're kind of feeling, all right, Kniser, I don't know how to pronounce it. Like the backup catcher hits a home run, like, oh boy, here we go. And the bullpen, I don't know how they keep getting away with it. I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. But they keep getting big outs when it's needed. And
I said yesterday,
unless we want to talk more about Rich Hill, I think we can move into the bullpen. But no, Rich Hill was fantastic today, and it's always a little worrying because the way he pitches, he's going to give up a lot of hard contact.
Yeah, he puts guys
but
on
he
base.
got outs, and he struck out enough people.
Yeah. It's amazing that guy is still getting strikeouts like that.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. It's always always a little comedic to watch people miss on high elevated 87-mile-an-hour fastballs
that they know is coming. That they know are coming. Right. I mean, it really is something.
Yeah. So Rich Hill, fantastic, really taking advantage of a struggling Cardinals offense. So I don't know if you saw on the broadcast, with runners in scoring position, they're looking like the Pirates in these past couple of weeks. Yeah. I think it was like 7 for 61.
And I think in their last 7 games prior to Friday with us, they had scored 3 runs or less. Yeah. Very, very piratey in May. It's very, very similar. So I could feel your pain there, Cardinal fans.
I will relish in it, but
no. Yeah, it's about time that it's happening to you.
That is because any other year, Jordan Walker is hitting 3 home runs today.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what
off of Hill. So great start from Rich Hill, but also another huge performance from the Pirates bullpen. Dory Moretta, I keep waiting for the regression to hit. He has an insanely high percentage of runners stranded. And I'm like, when is it going to keep dropping? When does it keep dropping? And he keeps
22 of 23 or it's something absurd. I mean, and the only one that scored was on a wild pitch. It really the only one that has scored is not scored from a hit or a home run or something. No, it was off a wild pitch. I mean, it's unbelievable.
No, and it again, you got when the Kevin Newman trade happened, I think everyone was just like, I'm just glad Kevin Newman's gone. That's the big win. If Dory Moretta becomes like even like an average reliever, that's just gravy. But he has guts to steal. Yeah. Nothing phases him. No. He will go out there and throw 50% strikes with runners on second and third, and he will not let them come home.
It doesn't make sense. I haven't seen anything like it, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I hope after one bad inning, we don't try to run him out of town, because he's due for some, regression. But my goodness, I mean, that slider, it just disappears. Nobody can seem to get a good look at it. So, I mean, he's throwing, it's crazy. It's just crazy, but it's a lot of fun. And if it can continue on, again, maybe not at this high, unbelievable rate, but just, near effective, it's a great guy to come in with runners on. Yeah.
And I mean, I even kind of like it where he's kind of like how Oliver Perez was used in like the back end of his career, where he comes in for like 1 or 2 batters, gets them out and exits. Like we kind of talked about this with some of our platoon players about putting them in positions where they know they can succeed. I think that Moreta has really been used well, to the point where he is being put in situations where he's not being asked to do too much. And so he's able to focus on our 1 or 2 batters and get those guys out. And that's all we need.
That's all he has to do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think really.
I like how Shelton has how Shelton has managed the pitching staff. I know there's been and there is in every single game for every single team. I mean, he threw Stevenson out there with it when he had a 1.8 ERA and we all lost our minds. Like, come on, the guy had been great up till that point. So, we pulled Keller, and once, it was funny how our reactions go because he pulled Keller early one time and let him go a little longer the next time. And we were unhappy both ways. Right. So, but generally speaking, he has used this bullpen well. He's he's sort of spoon feeding these younger guys with less experience and getting them, a little bit more, tougher situations. He letting Hill go, using Bednar today because, again, he brings Bednar out for a third consecutive day, first time in his career. He gets the save. Had that not worked, we'd have been talking about how could you do that? Had we not done that and you brought in Chase DeYoung and he gives it up or something, you had Bednar, he could pitch three, so, I mean, you can't win as a manager with pitching changes.
No, you never get thanked for when moves work and you get destroyed when they don't. And no manager is going to be perfect, and especially with pitching changes. And like Shelton is not.
You're a genius when it works, and you're an idiot when it doesn't. Right? I'm not. But saying anything about that. But
and I think there's something to be said about that. I think I'm going to segue into the next guy, like how he's used Yohan Ramirez, because Ramirez has always had some of the best stuff in the pen, but he's younger, and he's always had control issues.
He's a little.
And erratic, so right? I think the way that they built him up this year, where they didn't let him get high spillage situations, even though I've been clamoring for weeks to get him some. Because I think so you can get the confidence up, you show him, hey, I can get people out, and then you throw him in the one-run game like he did today, and the Cardinals did not have a shot against him.
Ramirez is not just getting people out; he's making them look silly. You know what I'm saying? They're just swinging at stuff with seemingly no idea where the ball is, and right. So it's like, all right. Slow but sure. Let's move him in because I mean he's looking like he could be in a very effective 8th inning guy if Holderman's not available.
And
occasional save situation.
I think the most surprising thing about today is that he didn't have a single strikeout. In his one inning. I mean his stuff will look good, but he has a great, like I said, great movement. But no, he didn't get a single strikeout. He still handled the Cardinals pretty easily. Yeah,
I mean, it's funny. It's hard to make proclamations about this team, right? After April, we're all, and then May, we're and now here but this was against the Cardinals. This was 3 games in the division. These are more important. I hated losing the way we did to Tampa and Toronto and whatnot. I mean, we could have at least gotten a game in each series. That would have been obviously so much better. But clearly they were better teams than we were. Where we have to, really exceed is in our division, and something we normally don't do. So if we could, coming up, right? We've got a stretch where is it Cubs, Milwaukee Cubs, or Milwaukee Cubs, or whatever? But there's 9 straight games against the Cubs and Brewers, I think. And, let's win in the division and let some of the other stuff sort itself out.
About to say, and even though they've taken away some of the games from the divisional, they are still so important. And especially since we're in a weak division.
I mean, maybe even more important with less of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so after the Athletics and Mets, it's 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Brewers, 3 against the Cubs, and then we get the Marlins. So, the Cubs are kind of in a free fall. The Brewers are beatable, but they've been playing about the same as us. And so, this is – I don't like to say, this is a season-deciding month because it's not. But you have to come out of this month at least 500 in my eyes.
Right. I think – this month it should be 15-11. And June 4th. So we're are we 3-0 in June now? I think so. Yeah, I mean, so especially it should be 15-11 now, right? Right. Now it just needs to be 12-11. We've got the A's, we've got the Cubs.
And the Padres don't look as terrifying anymore.
No, they don't.
So
the Marlins look a little scarier because their pitchers strike everybody out, and we can be susceptible to the strikeout.
Their pitching, our hitters are going to struggle in the Cardinals series for sure. But I think that's again. I mean, I guess one quick note: we all know how good David Bednar is.
Yeah,
David Bednar is so good. Third straight day being out there, gave up a bloop single. Nothing else.
Yeah, the little nervous one to Connor Joe there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like we just have to say the same thing every single time. He is just so good at what he does.
yeah, it's kind of like talking about Mitch Keller right now. It's kind of like talking about Brian Hayes' defense, right? It's just good. There's not much more we can add to that.
I agree.
I said yesterday, while we were waiting for a post-game show yesterday that never came, and I said, if our bullpen keeps pitching this well, David Bednar's going to get traded. And and guys are like, no. They're gonna have to pay him something next year. I mean, it's only arbitration, but we'll see.
I mean, I've heard like some rumblings from people who are theorizing that like the way we're gonna spend it in free agency by getting some ARB players off the books. I would be kind of upset at this point if Bednar is one of those players. But
I mean, he's automatic, right? It's funny. People say that's a luxury of a bad team can't afford. I think it's a luxury a bad team needs, right? When you're trying to build a winning culture and trying to learn how to win, it's nice to know that guy is there. That if you get the lead, if you can get it to him, that you're going to win that game. And we're not a bad team anymore. We're sort of a mediocre team.
Yeah.
So if we want to be a good team. And if we're going to add some guys maybe later in the month or in July, let's know that ninth inning is secure. And
and I mean,
and also
pretty much my feeling on it is like, if someone comes in and just gives you an absurd package for a guy like Bednar, you take it and run.
Right.
But if you're serious about competing, which I hope we're buyers, not sellers at the deadline, if we like maintain around this area, you keep him around. He's a fan favorite. He gets people in the ballpark. He's also one of the I'll say top 5 closers in baseball at this point. You might be able to go higher. I know last year was like, but
I'd have to look closer. Yeah, but so if you told me top 3, I wouldn't argue.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I don't want him to get traded. I think but basically you'd have to get like multiple top 100 prospects to even like pick up the phone.
Right. Oh, I agree. I mean, someone would have to call you and overpay.
Yeah.
But again, Ben Cherington does not have the warm fuzzies, I think, that we have about him being from Pittsburgh. And,
no,
so that could happen. I mean, my goodness, if you're a team that really, really wants to, win the World Series and thinks you can this year, and he's there, and I mean, I hope they don't. I mean, I love the way our bullpen is pitching as a whole. He's obviously the most significant part of that. I hope they extend him, but
no, and I do too. And
I don't think they will.
The only thing I see is I just see us following the O's pattern, like the Orioles pattern. And if you saw, the Orioles were about our record last year at the deadline, and then they went out and sold their best reliever because they had a lot of options in the pen.
Right.
And again, I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
But
that's kind of what I see.
I don't and I would not advocate for it, but I think I'll repeat: if someone comes with an offer you can't refuse, relievers are expendable, and we could survive. It'd be easier to survive Bednar than to survive trading away Mitch Keller. So
absolutely right. No, I mean it's right. Yeah, again, the way this bullpen is showing out, you do feel there's a sense that you could just push everybody back a little now. Holderman becomes your closer. Johan Ramirez is your 8th inning guy. Jose Hernandez is a 7th inning guy. Moretta's still doing it. And you're like, okay, plus De Los Santos,
there's a
Colin Selby,
there.
right. There's
there's still some guys I don't like who are here, but I'm not going to complain about them today.
Today's not the day for that.
Yeah. But now I think we can move on to the offense. If you told me that Austin Hedges had 2 hits today, one of them was extra base hits, I would have assumed we scored more than 2 runs.
Right. When you see Austin Hedges
wasn't even
unsheath the sword, right? You would think that we have more than 2 runs. If you're Austin Hedges, that's probably not a celebration you should be.
He unsheathed the sword on what should have been a normal pop out, but Jordan Walker can't play defense. But no, I think this comment is right. Like, we had 10 hits today. We only scored 2 runs, 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So we weren't very clutch with runners in scoring position, but we did just enough to win today. And sometimes you need something like that.
Yeah. You have those games, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Again, how many times have we had only scored 2 runs and it was off 2 hits, 3 hits?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so at least you go into tomorrow's game thinking, right, we're hitting the ball well, we're stringing hits together, we're doing stuff. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. It's not gonna, you're not gonna score 11 runs every game.
No.
Yeah,
no.
A little frustration with the runners in scoring position, but Reynolds had 2 hits. What did Hayes have? 2?
Hayes
hits?
had 3.
3 hits, right? I mean, Brian Hayes having 3 hits
Mm-hmm.
is I mean, he had a great weekend. He had a great weekend. It's only one weekend. I'm not ready to, again, make any proclamations, but I'd much prefer to see that than not. Castro looks good against lefties.
Yeah.
This team is close, right?
Yeah.
It's close. And what it needs is probably, say, 2 more dynamic hitters, maybe a catching prospect, a return from a shortstop. But I mean, there's hope there. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm assuming somebody comes up around June 15th or 16th, because that seems to be the time that players hit all the benchmarks that the management staff had decided they need to hit.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with any kind of Super 2. It's just, he got the reps in. And
my sources tell me Henry Davis will have perfected pinch hitting by June 11th. June 19th, I think, has been the date I've been seeing floating around. But
right.
Yeah, and I think there is a lack of star power in the lineup at the most. Like Reynolds is a star. Cruz being hurt sucks, but he is a star. And so you kind of have like one star in the lineup, and I kind of, it kind of reminds me of how the Giants try to assemble an offense. Because when you watch the Giants play, they have like a bunch of like 730, 750 OPS hitters,
right,
who all rotate in. And that's where we have Castro and Bay and Zawinski and Joe. And so like I see, like, because you got to play where you can't spend big money, you're basically trying to fill in the margins. You're like, I hate to use the word, but you are trying to money ball it.
Yeah,
it's
the truth, right? You just,
and so right. When the team is fully healthy, and I think the team is getting there, where we're starting to get injuries back, like Troy's going to be back soon. The offense can work together, and I don't think this is like, I would say like it's probably like a league average offense when it works. But there's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, Marcano went 0 for 4, but I mean, he's been hitting really well. Reynolds.
I mean, that was a great catch that robbed him.
Yeah.
How come when we put an infielder into the outfield, he can't field, even a pop-up? But when St. Louis puts a Gold Glove second baseman into the outfield, he looks like a Gold Glove center fielder. Just don't understand.
The Cardinals get away with things that no one else gets with. But I mean, like, there are a lot of players here that just can't play every day, but you slot them into a lineup together and they can string in 10 hits in a day.
Right.
And Palacios and Castro and Joe all got 0 hits, but Hayes was great. Bay had a really clutch 2 RBI single, knocked in our only runs for the day. Reynolds had 2 hits. Zawinski had 2 hits. Probably could have had a second hit if Jordan Walker wasn't shifting him. And so, yeah, I'm, I can't say it's hard to be upset at the offense, especially since we won, but it's also saying, like, they didn't really play that bad today.
No, they did it right. It's not, it wasn't one of the, again, a lot of times we have a 2-0 game and it's, the pitcher just retired 12 straight. That was not happening today.
Yeah.
We were getting hits. We were getting walks. Guys were getting on base. We had a couple steals. The offense looked pretty good. It just didn't score runs. I know that sounds sort of counterintuitive, but mean, that's really, if they come out tomorrow and get 10 hits, I would expect that it's going to be 5 or 6 runs, right? It's just how it worked out. I don't want to be too much up in arms about it.
Yeah, and but Mikolas did not have great stuff today. there were times where I'm like, why? How did we let like that 93-mile-an-hour fastball go by? But no, it happens. Baseball's a weird sport. There's a lot of variables, and so all you really needed was the win, and you can take positives. So Hayes looked great. Bay had a couple good hits. Like Reynolds is like still looking really comfortable. And it's like it's not like, oh no, we're still like on our offensive slump of May. Like you can look at this and say, hey, we weren't that bad. And we talk about strikeouts. We only struck out 5 times today.
Right.
It's an improvement.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge improvement. Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel comfortable. The offense performs like it did today. Going into these next 3 games with Oakland, I think we'll be fine. We have a real good opportunity in front of us right now, and let's take advantage of it. It's in the past. These are, like I said, these are the kind of moments where, we just got swept by Oakland. How did that happen? But I don't see that happening. We've got good enough pitching. I wonder if they'll move things around and bring Ortiz back. Maybe after 3 days or 4 days or something, but. Beyond that, it doesn't. I mean, I don't care. We've got what is it? Contreras, Keller, and Oviedo. I think going against Oakland. So
I saw a tweet. I was just about to pull that up. I think it's Oviedo, Keller. Yeah. Oviedo, Keller, Contreras. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you like your chances. Again, if the offense can keep making contact. Oakland's a terrible. Right? They're a terrible team. I mean, we really should sweep this team, but that's not how it works. I mean, that's just not how it goes. But take the 2 out of 3. If you can get the sweep, that's an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And so if you can kind of bookend that May with a 7-game winning streak that we had before we went into the, then with an 8-game winning streak, you sort of mitigate that horrible May somewhat. Not entirely, but.
And I mean, I'll put this out there is that we have, as of now, the 2nd easiest remaining schedule. So is this team a championship winning team? No. I would say if we made the playoffs, we would get pretty handedly eliminated in the first round.
Right. I agree too.
I think
we're going to be playing Atlanta
finally,
or somebody. Right?
Finally going to stop manipulating service time. We let our best players play. There is I say 85 wins is I think the max I'll give this team. That might be enough to win this division.
Come on, we would I would come up for the parade for that, right? I mean,
hey, you won't see me made mad over an 85 win season.
I want a National League Central title.
Yeah.
Right? We have never won the National League Central, and it's going away soon. They are going to expand or realign, and there will not be an NL Central. I do not want to go 40 years. I want to start it in 95, I think. I mean, let's get one 95. National League Central just to acknowledge that we played in the National League Central. It would be nice. And 85 wins might get that done. And this team, I predicted 79. I'm not moving off that at this point, but they could exceed that. And the foundation for that would be having a really strong month this month in June, and then let some, I don't know if I want to call them reinforcements or additions or whatever you want to call them, but maybe we can improve the offense a little. And because the pitching has been fine, and I think we'll continue barring any catastrophic injury. Again, the concern for this team will be what happens at the deadline.
Yeah. I can't shake off the fact that I feel like there is bullpen regression coming of some kind, just because I think we lead the league in runners stranded.
Yeah. Oh,
and I can't see that's. I'm enjoying it. I'm not trying to.
But you're right.
Take it away, but I don't see that continuing to happen. But I am interested to see what happens when, say, Priester gets here, and Vince Velasquez maybe comes back from injury. If he's pitching again, I would like to see him moved into the bullpen so you don't have to employ Cody Bolton or Yeri De Los Santos. I feel like because at this point he's not getting traded. His elbow is kind of cooked, so I don't think he's going to get traded. So But you can kind of see, like, with injuries, with people in the minors, how you can improve this team that I would have liked seen done in April, but I guess no time like the present.
Right.
But, very encouraging signs. I'm a huge fan of the series to wrap it up. This is a good series to build off of, and you can kind of see the pieces coming together.
Right. We've beat the team that's been the bane of our existence for,
Yeah.
At least since 97. We've never finished ahead of them in the standings since that freak show year. So to sweep them, to be 5-2 against the Cardinals at any point in any year is a good thing, just in a vacuum, right?
So I will take it every day of the week.
Yeah.
They are 10 games under 500. They are solidly in last place in the Central. I am a happy man.
And we're 4 games over 500, and we got here in a weird way. But come on, 31-27 on June 4th.
But I think if you ask almost any
I say this every time I'm on. At the beginning of the year, right?
Beginning of the season, how we got here, everyone would take it. I think how we got here, I have some legitimate complaints about, but again, we're happy today.
Yeah, today's a good day, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow.
All right.
So,
but I think that's good. Unless you want to mention anything else.
No, one little thing. I hope Ben Cherington notices that you can bring up like someone like Jordan Walker to start the season, and then if he doesn't do well, you can send him down, and then you can bring him back. So you could bring a hot hitting prospect up. But that doesn't mean he has to be up here for the rest of his life if it doesn't work. So maybe we could, the Cardinals are an organization we should be trying to learn from. So I'm just hoping that little there that, hey, you could bring one of these guys up and you could still manipulate the service time later on down the road, just like you did with, Rowanzi last year. So.
And they did with Sawinski and Marcano.
Right.
So and again, we can talk until the cows come home. It's about service time. That's all it's about.
Oh, that's all right. It's exactly. You can tell me all day that he needs to learn to frame pitches better, and I'm not going to argue that. I'm sure that's true.
Yeah,
I absolutely sure that it's true. I'm absolutely sure that they're not ready to catch 5 days a week. I'm saying bring them and let them catch 2 days a week and play some right field.
Yeah, I agree.
Blah blah blah. We don't need to go the whole thing, but
they should be coming up soon. But for now, Pirates win 2-1. We sweep the St. Louis Cardinals. What an amazing day. What amazing weekends.
And we got the rest of our day in front of us. All right.
For now, here is Jim. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.